So welcome to the Motivated Mummies Show, where you can find inspiration, motivation and collaboration. So today I'm here with Ali Swift, who is author of My Wellness Toolbox, radio presenter, therapist and mum. You have got a lot going on.
Yeah, I am quite busy.
So do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah, so as you said, I'm Ali, or Alison, depending on who's talking to me, or mummy. I've got two children, Thomas and Eloise. Thomas is 5 and Eloise is 2. I'm actually an IT consultant as well, but I am trying to step away from that, as following Eloise's birth, I decided to write a book. In fact, it was while I was on maternity leave that I wrote My Wellness Toolbox. And this is the book that contains 26 tools that I discovered on my journey, as cliche as that might sound, to overcome crippling anxiety. 13, 14 years ago, I hit my rock bottom. I'd been struggling for about 8 years with crippling anxiety, and I just could no longer deal with it, and I couldn't leave the house. So I went to the doctor, I spoke, I got the help, and it was through CBT actually, which was cognitive behavioural therapy, that I was introduced this concept of a toolbox, and it was down to me to fill my toolbox with the tools, my self-care tools if you like, that make me feel good about me, and so I did that, and it worked for me. It wasn't really until a couple of years ago that I looked back and went, oh, my life's completely changed, it's completely transformed, and I've done that. Gave myself a bit of a high five and then said, right, that's it, I'm going to share my tools. But I was heavily pregnant at the time, so it kind of didn't happen. And then sadly, just after my daughter was born, my husband's father was really poorly, and he passed away 4 months, when she was actually 4 months to the day old. And it really pushed me to share my tools, because we both experienced obviously grief, anxiety through it. And I thought, my tools are really working, I need to get them out there and share them with other people. And so I wrote the book, it was published, and that's led me to become a Reiki therapist. I'm also learning about crystals and doing a bit of crystal healing, trying to step away back from the IT, but trying to share my wellness journey really. And I'm doing that through the book and events and speaking, and obviously a bit of wellness coaching. So I coach others on how to find their own wellness toolbox, especially if they've got confidence issues or they're going through some sort of transition or transformation. So that's me in a nutshell. A big nutshell, but a nutshell.
Wow. It's amazing how you've taken something negative and turned it into such a positive, isn't it?
It is, and I'll be really honest as well. I mentioned this to you before. In the last 6 months, I've especially since coming back from IT and taking a step back from IT and really trying to find myself in the wellness industry, I've kind of hit this imposter syndrome. I'm doing the radio show now, so I am a radio presenter, talking to other people about their wellness and their wellness journeys. And I'm thinking, who am I? Why do I think I'm doing this? And I've experienced quite bad anxiety again. And my friend died, and that's led to a little bit of depression coming back in and going through the grieving process. And it's been a journey in itself, but I've discovered more tools, especially as I mentioned, the crystal healing. I've kind of come to a crossroads. I turn 40 next year. Actually, I turned 40 this year. I'm 40 in May. And it's really made me look at who I am, what I am, where am I going, what am I doing? And I really don't know what I would have done without my wellness toolbox, actually.
Yeah, it's very honest of you to admit that you've had bouts of anxiety, because so much in our industry, when we are therapists, we get people assume that once you're a therapist, you know what to do, and you're not allowed to get anxiety anymore. You're not allowed to have confidence. You're not allowed to be depressed. And it's rubbish, isn't it? Just because we had those studies, it doesn't mean that we're not going to be affected by these things. It just
exactly.
We have the knowledge and we know how to fix ourselves. But sometimes it's not that easy, and we still need the help of other people to just give us that little nudge and to give us that support while we use our own tools as well.
And I think what's important there is, as therapists, as you say, we're helping other people, and this has happened to me. I forgot to help myself.
Yeah.
I was so focused on helping others and sharing my story to help others. I was doing a lot of events. I was still doing the IT. I was still booking in lots of Reiki therapy, Reiki appointments and coaching appointments, trying to grow my business. And then if someone died, I had a really horrible thing happen in life, and I suddenly found myself in panic mode again and in stress mode, thinking, well, hang on a minute, why is my toolbox not working for me? Oh, I know, I'm not using it.
Yeah, I completely relate with with all of that. Building my business up, and yeah, I'm terrible at self-love. So let's just go straight into getting some of your tips. So what do you think we can do if we're feeling a bit overwhelmed? Because we want to keep our mental health in really good shape. So what do you think is the best things that we can do as busy mums to help keep our mental health good?
Talking, tell people if you're not feeling right, talk. I actually met somebody new at the weekend, and within a few minutes of meeting, she started to talk, and she hadn't talked about something for 18 months because she suddenly felt safe in the fact that she could talk. But what I tried to say to her, you've always been able to talk. There were other people in the room that she's been around for those 18 months. If you're starting to feel negative, sad, stressed, worried, happy, share your good news as well. You know, I think if you've got a bit of imposter syndrome, your business is actually doing really well, but you don't feel like people are celebrating, or you don't feel like people around you want to celebrate with you, celebrate it yourself and tell people, the positive people in your life. When you are stressed, tell somebody, I'm stressed today, I'm struggling today, because the fact is they're probably stressed and struggling, but they don't necessarily want to tell somebody in case they're judged. Or we're all feeling in the same, we're all in the same boat. Talk. I didn't talk for 8 years and I hit rock bottom. This time round I talked, and my journey of recovery has had to come to me a lot quicker, which has probably been hard in some ways, but I'm now on it and I'm getting through it and I'm coming through the other side. Talk. Please celebrate your successes, and when you're stressed, tell people and be honest, and just be open to judgment, because that's a reflection of them, not you.
Good point. So you teach self-love and self-care. This, I've seen from talking to my mums, is a massive struggle with a lot of women. So I want to spend a lot of our time talking about that. So
sure.
Help us. What do you recommend?
So the one thing about self-care is I actually call it, in my toolbox, I call it my daily self-care. And this is actually trying to find something or add things into your routine every day that are self-care. Now, the first thing that people will say to me is, well, I haven't got time for that. I haven't got time to do one thing a week for myself. So I'm a busy mum. You know, I've got a 5 and 2-year-old, and we've got the school life. I've obviously got all the things going on that I've spoke about. But every single day I do find time for me. As selfish as that might sound, it's not selfish. In fact, you might not even notice those things as soon as you start doing them on a regular basis. And they're the simple things. And a lot of it is actually, you're probably doing these things already. You just don't recognise them as self-care. Because you don't recognise them as self-care, you're not grateful for them. And therefore, you don't feel of it, you know, it's not self-care, so you don't think you're doing something for yourself. But as soon as you recognise you are, then you feel like you appreciate it, and then that just is good for your positivity and your mindset anyway. So for example, every single morning, as soon as I wake up, I say, or try to say, 3 things that I'm grateful for, even if I've woke up after a bad night's sleep, especially with a 2-year-old who loves sleep regression. I will have my 5-minute shower every single day, regardless of what's going on or what time it is. I will get in that shower, the hot shower, and I will use my nice products that make me feel good. And if it's on the side, I will put a few drops of essential oils in as well. When I come down the stairs, the kids are normally complaining or moaning about they don't want breakfast, they don't want to put their clothes on or what have you. The essential oil, and it's normally actually when they're being grumpy that it reminds me to put the essential oil diffuser on. Again, it takes 30 seconds, and you might think, well, that's not self-care, that's just sticking essential oils on. Those essential oils and what they do to you and what they can do for your mind is self-care. It's doing that little thing that will make you feel good. We have a positive playlist, which is music that makes the whole family feel good, and especially when they're not getting ready for school, we'll have a getting ready party. Who's the first one that can get ready before the end of the song? Little things like this lift the household without us really having to make that much effort. And in the car, especially when I'm on my own, going to work, meetings, the radio station or what have you, especially if I'm feeling quite nervous or anxious, I'll put on a positive playlist. And again, putting together a positive playlist in itself is self-care. Just spending that time to do something that you do for yourself every day is really important. Take a break. I can't stress this enough, especially working in the IT industry. I very rarely took a lunch break because we'd be in the middle of major incidents. So I worked in service, so dealt with critical issues and things in the workplace. We wouldn't have a lunch break. Well, there is a lot of people in businesses that can help and support you to enable you to go and have a lunch break if you work in the corporate world. But if you actually work, especially for yourself, you're in charge of your own diary. I booked an appointment with you today at 11 o'clock. I was able to put that in the diary. So why don't I put in the diary every day between 12 and 1 that that's my lunch hour? And when someone says, can I see you at 12 o'clock? You look at your diary and you say, well, no, I wouldn't change the appointment above it. So why would I change the appointment with myself? Book time in the diary for yourself. It might sound a bit strange and a bit odd to begin with. But if you look at my diary, it actually says Ali in it. And it might just be 15 minutes where I will go and dry my hair on a Saturday morning, because actually that's something I like to do without having 2 children around me, and I know my husband's at home. So it's about looking at your diary and putting things in just for you. You do it for everyone else, so why not for yourself? And there is the time. You think there isn't, but the more you say there isn't, there won't be. The more you say, yeah, I can do this for me, use some of your affirmations and positive statements. I do have the time for this, and I'm going to find the time. And then things like, I like cooking the dinner. So I actually will use that as me time and say, right, everyone clear the kitchen. This is Mummy's time. She's going to cook the dinner, and just have that bit of focus. And then bedtime, I do my three things I'm grateful for. And something that I've actually introduced more recently is meditation. So as I actually put my head on the pillow, regardless of what my husband thinks, it's a bit like I'm going to be selfish, I put on my, I've got a really good app actually called Breathe, and I put on a 5-minute, 10-minute meditation, and it helps me fall asleep. All those things are self-care and take very little effort, but they make a difference to my day and my mindset. Yeah. So that
we would find if our children needed us, or if they needed a doctor's appointment, we would find that half an hour in our slot, or if they needed extra help with their homework, we would find that time, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
We'd always find time for things that are a priority.
Yeah. And actually, by finding the time for yourself and helping you, and it makes you more positive, and in turn, a more positive person is a more positive parent.
Do you know the thing that I picked up that really stood out in my mind is when you said that you have a playlist for the whole family? Because I've got a playlist for me. That's one of the things that I learned how to combat my social phobia and my anxiety. But do you know what? It never dawned on me to have a playlist for the whole family. We've got an Alexa. We could do that. We could have a playlist. And and I love the fact that it's like racing to get ready in the morning with the kids, rather than shouting at them and going, come on, hurry up, get your clothes on. How much nicer is it to go, let's finish by this song? It's like,
don't get me wrong. I read a brilliant book called Flip It, and actually sometimes I am that parent that's, can we just get ready? And then I think, flip it. What can I do to flip this? Oh, get the music on. And again, we've got Alexa, so it's like, Alexa, can you play? And I'll put a song on that I know that the kids love. In fact, it's turned into, on the Solihull radio show, which I do the Wellness Wednesday show every Wednesday, we have a Thomas tune, which is my son chooses his song for every week. I mean, some of his choices have just been brilliant, from, Queen and... he's got Queen, he's the Beatles, Little Mix, but we've played his song, and they're brilliant choices, and they're always, kids choose uplifting, fun songs.
It's brilliant. It's lovely to hear you, and the things that you've said, we can all adapt these into our lives. You haven't said, oh, go out and join a spa, or ridiculous things like that. These are all little things that we can put into our lives, and like you said, you just look back one day and go, oh, everything's gone so much better. Everything's going nicely. So really appreciate that. Fantastic tips. Thank you. If somebody wants to get in touch with you, they want to get your book, they want to just soak up more of expertise, where can they find you?
So they can have a look about me and my book and the services that I offer on www.mywellnesstoolbox.co.uk. They can follow me on social media. Facebook and Instagram is both at My Wellness Toolbox, and Twitter is at My Well Toolbox. And through all of those platforms, they'll find my contact details, and I'm always welcome to a conversation, a chat. I'm obviously a coach, so if you're interested in having some coaching, either face-to-face or online, then get in touch with me.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. I have really loved talking to you. It's been so interesting. I'm gonna, as soon as we get off this, I'm writing down some of the things you said, and I'm gonna start actioning them out. We all need to do this.
Brilliant. That's great. Thank you so much for the time and the opportunity.
You're very welcome.
Thanks.
So, take care, and to everyone else.
All right. Bye.